Can I get a motion to approve the minutes of October 29th, 2024? Danny and Brandy, thank you. We will move on to our informational items. Thank you. All in favor to approve the minutes? Aye. Opposed? Ayes have it. Now we'll move on to informational. The clerk had a funeral, so he is not here. Do we have anybody from the coroner's office? Wow, you're the star of our show, I guess, today. Come on up. For our PCAPS update here.
All right, good afternoon, everyone. The only real update I have is the incinerator project. So as you know, we have gone out for a request for proposal for the incinerator, and those packages have come back. There were 3, and we're sorting through them, and we will take a recommendation to the board next month.
Can you also give an update on the spay and neuter? We haven't heard from you on that in a while.
Yeah, spay and neuter is going wonderful. Our mobile unit is in service on Monday, Tuesday, and Thursday. We are spaying and neutering about between a minimum of 10, a maximum of about 15 animals a day on those days that we're in service. And then the doctor comes in and looks at all of the animals that are in the shelter that have an ailment or need a rabies vaccine or need a vet exam. So our contract with Dr. Brown and our relationship with Dr. Davis, who he sends to do the work at the shelter, has been great. The mobile unit is wonderful. We are even geared up for the winter. We have our heated hoses and our heating pads on our water tanks and things like that. If you're an RV person, you might recognize some of that. And so we are all geared up and ready to go for the winter. We have also then, that has allowed us to do a trap neuter return program where we're returning, I would say about maybe 10, 15 cats a month to addresses that qualify. We still have some language in village and city ordinance that allow us not to trap, neuter, return. But in the unincorporated county areas and some of the smaller municipalities, we're able to trap, neuter, return, and that has really helped our euthanasia rate on our cats this year. You'll see an increase in our live release rate of about, I would say about 10%. That can be qualified for as a result of the trap, neuter, return program. So we're really excited about that. We're helping more cats.
Thank you. Any questions on the PCAP update? All right. If you want to stay there, we will move on to microchip donation, the microchip donation award. Can I get a motion to put that on the floor, Rob and Sharon? All right. Thank you. Can you tell us about your award?
Yes, so we were generously chosen by Edith Barnard. She wrote and produced and put on this musical, A Flood of Creatures, which was just adorable, a family wholesome musical. And she donated back every bit of the proceeds that she made. She actually even gave me her budget and everything she spent and donated back every bit of the proceeds that she made on the musical to the shelter animals. And to the shelter and what we do for the community. So it was $4,675 came from this award. We would like to use that for the purchase of microchips for the program next year to be able to continue our free microchip program. That has been grant sponsored for the last 3 years. And again, we hope will continue to be grant sponsored going into 2025. And to be able to offer those free microchips as a means of intake prevention, thinking that if we get microchips into the community animals, that we will have identification on them and know where to return them once our officers pick them up in the field or Good Samaritans bring them into the shelter. So that's the goal of that program.
Any questions on the donation? All right. Well, such a neat fundraiser.
That was fun.
All in favor of accepting the microchip donation award with the sign of aye? Opposed? Ayes have it. And we'll move on to the intergovernmental agreement. Motion from Steve, thank you, and Brian.
All right, so we have proposed new agreements, 5-year agreements with the 15 municipalities that we have historically contracted with. 14 of them have returned signed agreements, and Norwood is still on the fence and deciding, as they have been off again, on again over the years, if you're following the saga. Elmwood has an impound only agreement, as they have for many, many years. Everyone else is a full service agreement. Impound only is a little bit of a misnomer. We do not impound animals from Elmwood. We will accept animals from Elmwood at the shelter. So it's the cost of services for their constituents and their municipal government to be able to bring us animals for the stray holding period. So Elmwood is an impound, everyone else is a full service agreement, and there are 15 in total, with Norwood as kind of a question mark until their meeting next month.
And these rates are based on per capita, is that correct?
Correct, yes.
And they're 5-year agreements. Can you tell the committee a little bit about the history of these agreements and the scope of service and the length of period?
Yes, so since I've been in the director's seat, we've had 5-year agreements, very similar to these with similar structure. Prior to me, I believe they had 3-year agreements, intergovernmental agreements. They are, we present these to the municipalities to enforce their local ordinance, to be able to have a shelter for the impoundment of their animals, and really a full service for anything animal related that their municipality might need.
Any questions on the agreement? Yes, Danny.
With Norwood on the fence, is there a reason they're still included in the vote today?
I'll let Becky answer that.
In the structure of the resolution allows us, I believe, Scott in his position to sign and execute the documents as they're agreed upon. And so as to not have to take it back to the board next month when they fully decide, I suspect that they will. We'll see. I've been in negotiation with them since June earlier this year, and they've been off again, on again about their decision to join us. I ultimately gave them the ultimatum that said there will be no disruption in service if they sign by a November date, seeing as they had this on the table since June. They chose not to, so if they don't sign at their next meeting, they will not have a contract for the beginning of the month, and until we can get that contract back through a board vote.
Thank you.
I think the discussion was that these were the parameters that they would be looking at in the event they choose to sign.
Thanks.
Any other questions? All right. All in favor then in the intergovernmental agreements with the local municipalities with the sign of aye? Aye. Opposed? Ayes have it. I'll move on to public comment, which I don't see any. Miscellaneous? Meeting adjourned.